Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. In the ever-evolving world of professional wrestling, WWE's storylines are crafted to captivate and engage audiences. One of the most compelling narratives in recent years has been the rise of the Bloodline, led by Roman Reigns. This faction has dominated WWE programming, but an ex-WWE employee has voiced a controversial opinion, arguing that the Bloodline will never succeed on its own without the involvement of a six-time world champion. The identity of this champion is often hinted at, with fans speculating about a number of possibilities. This claim opens up a larger discussion about wrestling factions, legacy, and how much a stable like the Bloodline relies on outside forces or individual star power to thrive. The Bloodline, a faction predominantly consisting of members from the Inoue family, has been at the center of WWE's main event scene for the past few years. With Roman Reigns as the reigning Universal Champion, the group has carved out a niche as the top heel faction. The faction also includes his cousins, Jimmy and Jey Uso, who are multi-time tag team champions. The presence of Paul Heyman as Roman's special counsel has only added to the group's mystique, lending it the credibility of a longtime wrestling mastermind. Under Roman Reigns' leadership, the Bloodline has come to represent dominance, loyalty, and family. Their storylines revolve around the themes of heritage, power, and the pressures of upholding family legacy. Roman Reigns' persona as the tribal chief is built on his belief that he is the rightful head of the Inoue family and, by extension, the WWE. His rule is one of intimidation and authority, and he has often bent his cousins to his will to achieve his goals. Despite the faction's dominance, the ex-WWE employee's perspective suggests that the Bloodline's success isn't entirely self-made. The notion that a six-time world champion's involvement is critical to their success indicates that even the most powerful stables sometimes need external forces to keep their momentum alive. The employee's opinion seems to echo a broader sentiment in wrestling, that no one can truly thrive in isolation in this industry. Speculation has run rampant about which six-time world champion is being referenced here. Some believe it could be The Rock, who is not only one of the most successful wrestlers in WWE history, but also a real-life cousin of Roman Reigns. His return to WWE has been long rumored, and his involvement in the Bloodline storyline would make perfect sense. The Rock's unparalleled charisma, star power, and legacy would undoubtedly elevate the faction's prominence, taking the narrative to even greater heights. Others speculate that it could be John Cena, who has also held multiple world championships and has a history with Roman Reigns. Cena's return for a high-profile feud with Reigns could add an extra layer of excitement and drama to the storyline, pitting one of WWE's most decorated superstars against the current King of the Mountain. Cena's involvement could push the Bloodline's narrative into new territory, especially as Reigns continues to assert his dominance over the WWE roster. The idea that a faction like the Bloodline needs the backing or participation of a past legend speaks volumes about the way WWE often blends eras. In WWE, the present is always in conversation with the past. This interplay helps keep longtime fans invested, while introducing new generations to legends of the industry. Whether it's The Rock, John Cena, or any other legendary figure, their presence can breathe new life into current storylines, giving them a sense of gravity and continuity that resonates with the audience. WWE has frequently relied on its legends to boost the star power of its current roster. In fact, Roman Reigns' ascent to tribal chief status was arguably cemented by his interactions with WWE Hall of Famer Edge and Daniel Bryan, now known as Bryan Danielson, both of whom played key roles in putting Reigns over as the dominant force he is today. WWE knows how to use its legends strategically, and the suggestion that the Bloodline needs a 6-time world champion to sustain its success fits this pattern. The key, however, is balance. While the ex-WWE employee's assertion highlights the importance of external influence, the success of the Bloodline also lies in how WWE handles the characters themselves. Factions that rely too heavily on nostalgia without proper character development run the risk of becoming stale. The Bloodline, despite its roots in WWE history, has managed to stay relevant due to the evolving dynamics between its members, particularly Roman Reigns' increasingly ruthless leadership style and the inner turmoil within the group. The argument that the Bloodline cannot succeed without the involvement of a 6-time world champion brings up a larger question. Can any faction succeed purely on its own? The answer might lie somewhere in the middle. Wrestling, like any other form of entertainment, thrives on collaboration, legacy, and star power. The greatest stables in wrestling history, from the Four Horsemen to D-Generation X to the NWO, were all influenced by outside forces, be it rivalries with other top stars or the occasional involvement of legends who helped them reach new heights. The Bloodline is no different. While they have carved out an impressive legacy on their own, the introduction of a major player like The Rock or John Cena could take them from being a top faction in WWE to being an all-time great stable. WWE has a track record of building on what's already successful, and adding a world champion to the mix could elevate the Bloodline's narrative, giving fans a reason to stay invested for the long term. Yet, it's also important to note that Roman Reigns has proven himself to be a megastar in his own right. Since turning heel and embracing his tribal chief persona, Reigns has carried SmackDown as its top act, delivering some of the best promos and matches of his career. His ability to command the audience's attention, both as a villain and as the leader of the Bloodline, suggests that the faction could indeed stand on its own if necessary. The key challenge for WWE is maintaining the Bloodline's momentum without relying too heavily on nostalgia or past champions. The eventual inclusion of a 6-time world champion could be a game changer, but it shouldn't come at the expense of the characters already within the Bloodline. The storytelling should continue to evolve, focusing on the internal dynamics of the group and their relationships with other top stars in WWE. The belief that the Bloodline cannot succeed without the involvement of a 6-time world champion opens up an interesting conversation about legacy, star power, and the nature of professional wrestling. While there's no doubt that legends like The Rock or John Cena could enhance the Bloodline's story, the faction has already proven to be one of WWE's most dominant forces. The key to their continued success lies in a careful balance between respecting the past and building toward the future. WWE has a rich history of elevating its current stars by aligning them with legends, but the success of the Bloodline will ultimately depend on how well the characters within the faction continue to evolve and captivate audiences.